Hey, everybody, I want to welcome you to another installment of my interviews that I'm doing for my upcoming book, Udemy Life. And today I have Udemy instructor Bianca Power from Australia with me. And I'm going to start off and have her tell you a little bit about herself. And then I'm going to just talk to her and ask her some questions and see how she got her start on Udemy, what she's doing, what she has planned, and maybe some advice that she has for you if you're new or maybe even a current Udemy instructor. Hey Bianca, welcome.
Thanks, Dennis. Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. So why don't you go ahead and start off and just give a little bit of your background. I said you're in Australia, but let us know where you're at and just a little bit about your history prior to Udemy, maybe.
Yeah, sure. My background's actually in education. I'm a qualified primary school teacher, and finished my PhD in education last year as well. Um, my um, what I love to do more than anything else is to help people to learn. So I just love Udemy as a platform that really enables people such as ourselves to get courses out there to people to learn new things.
Awesome. It's kind of cool that you're a teacher because I'm always very supportive of teachers. I don't think that they get enough credit. Now,
Yeah.
I like teaching myself, but I'm more of the Udemy type of teaching, so I don't have to deal with the other aspects of teaching, I guess. So,
Yeah.
so yeah. So, when did you first come across Udemy? Do you remember that?
Yeah, I actually came across Udemy towards the beginning of 2014 from a student perspective. I love to learn. I love to help others learn, and the only thing I love as much is to learn more stuff myself. I think it was a Facebook ad for Udemy, and I just was advertising some free courses or something like that, and I clicked through and had a look, and I just thought, yeah, this is pretty awesome. Um, Signed up for Rob Percival's programming in Java course, and then looking through the course catalog, started coming across courses by yourself and various others on creating Udemy courses, and I thought, well, I've been thinking for a while now. I want to start actually working for myself, and I would love to be a part of making some courses for Udemy as well. Um, it wasn't until beginning of this year that I started actually seriously looking at creating some courses to put on Udemy. Um, but yeah, that's how I came across it, was actually by taking a course on Udemy myself.
Wow, that's pretty awesome because I kind of just came across it and started creating a course or actually taking a course that I had and putting it on Udemy. And
Yeah.
I've taken courses on Udemy, but I don't seem to always complete them because I'm busy with other stuff. So that's really neat how you came across it. So it was the beginning of the year that you launched your first course.
I actually didn't launch it until June. I had a couple of false starts. I I mean, I've taught before, and I've actually taught an online course before at a university here in Australia. Um, but I, yeah, it's a bit different when you're creating a course that can be essentially anything you want to create. There's not a lot of structure and guidance in a sense when you're making it up yourself. I sort of had various ideas of what I wanted to create to put up on Udemy, and I kept making it bigger than Ben Hur. I kept saying, well, you know what? I want to make the great course. I want to make the course of my life. But it doesn't really work like that. um, but so I think there were three different courses that I started creating at the beginning of the year, and I just went, nah, this isn't it. At first I just wasn't satisfied with it, but then I decided on my current course by just saying, how about I just stick with something that's a lot narrower than what I've been trying to do? How about I just get something out there, give this a go, and I can create more later? Yeah, it took me until June to actually get in and finish creating a course, and I launched it, I think, in the last week of June this year.
Nice. I launched my first course in July of last year.
Right. Yep.
So yeah, interesting. So I went and I looked at your profile. So it looks like you still have currently one course, which is Boost Your Thinking Productivity by 500%. When you were
Yep.
creating that course, did you ever go into the Udemy Studio and utilize that resource for new Udemy instructors?
Yeah, definitely. They're definitely a great bunch of people on there. They're very, very helpful. There were a lot of things along the way that I just wasn't sure of, and so I'd go and have a look at what people were posting on there, and a few times actually ask a question and got some really great responses from the more experienced instructors. Sometimes it's just the things that seem obvious until you actually go and do it. And I can't think of a great example right now, but yeah, just sort of the admin type things are sometimes slightly confusing when you're going through it for the first time. And even that sort of thing, it's great to have a group of more experienced instructors who've done it before that you can draw on.
Yeah, absolutely. That was one of the things that I did was go into the studio when I started, came across the different resources. I think that they have a really good, I'm trying to think of the word, uh, just a variety of helpful information in different places like the website and also Udemy Studio. And then now that you're an instructor, of course, we know that the faculty lounge is a
Yeah.
resource for those who have a course and all of that. So, when you were creating your course, what kind of things, like maybe, do you think that you struggled with, and what are some tips that you might have for those who are just starting Udemy or seeing this for the first time and thinking about creating a course on Udemy?
Yep. So as I mentioned, I had a number of false starts because I was determined to make the best thing. I think probably one of the best pieces of advice I could give is just do it. Just get in and create something. And once you've created something, a great thing about Udemy is that you can go in and redo your lectures. You can update things later. You don't have to get it perfect in order to put it up. Um, but you'll learn so much by going through the process of actually getting a course to the point where you can put it through the Udemy review process to be a published course. Um, and yeah, so I would really encourage you to just pick something that you know something about, and pick something that you are passionate about because that's what will keep your motivation levels there. And just do it. Basically, just go and do it. Um, Something else I really struggled with because yeah, I have a teaching background, but I've never really I don't really know much about recording things. I really struggled with getting a decent sound quality. Um, and even the sound quality I ended up getting, I'm actually about to go and re record my course that I've got up there, not because I need to change the content so much, but I'm just not satisfied with my recording quality. I think the sound quality is just not quite good enough. So, for that reason, because I didn't quite get that right, I intend to go back and re record that. Um, and yeah, I can't really come up with any specific tips on how to get that right, other than there are actually some courses on Udemy, including some free ones that are fantastic in giving tips on how to improve your recording quality. And there's lots of information that you can find on that sort of thing through Udemy themselves and the Facebook pages that you mentioned as well. And I think it's really worth investing the time in getting that right.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that that's some great information and great advice because I kind of have gone through the same. I consider myself a techie, but yet when it comes to audio and video, we use tools like Camtasia, uh,
Yeah.
Camtasia 2 for the Mac and Camtasia Studio for the PC. Started with a Windows-based PC, and now I'm on Mac, and I'm on a headset right now, but off to the side, I've got a Blue Yeti microphone
Yep.
because I was using another one, which is up here on my bookcase. Started with that, didn't like the quality of that. I've used a Bluetooth or wireless headset from Logitech, which actually worked pretty well. But you start listening to some of the other courses and you start going back into yours and you realize like, oh my, I need to go and make some improvements. And that's one of the things that we can let people know is that get the course out there. Like she said, just do it and
Yeah.
then go back and fine tune it. And that's completely possible with Udemy. So I think that that's some great information. So you're a teacher and you said that you struggled with audio and video. Well, one of the things that I notice is that we've got some great instructors on Udemy who have that type of background, but yet one of the
Yeah.
things that they struggle with is marketing. So, do you have some advice maybe on marketing, or was there something specifically when it was time to, get out of the gate with starting marketing your course? What did you do?
Yeah. So I think that something I learnt very quickly to be valuable in terms of marketing is that you shouldn't undervalue giving out your course for free or at a significant discount, because one of the ways that you will get traffic, get students on Udemy is by social proof. It's by, you know, what sort of course are you more likely to sign up for? One with 3,000 students, or even 1,000 students, or one with 2 students? Well, the one with more students and that's actually got some reviews is looking a bit better, isn't it? So certainly there's value in distributing a decent amount of free coupons. Um, and that's something I did. And within the first 2 weeks, I had 2,000 students. And I'd only made about $20, I think. But to me, that was still, hey, I've made some money out of this.
Yeah.
And I've got quite a good number of students within the first couple of weeks. To me, that felt really powerful. Was quite motivating to get that sort of numbers. One mistake I did make was when I posted my course into the Udemy Studio. Is it the Udemy Studio document, I believe, where you can
Yeah.
post your brand new course? Yeah.
Yeah.
And I only allocated about 200 coupons to that code, and they were all used within about an hour. And I thought, well, yeah, if I'd actually realized, I would have created quite a larger number of coupons and got a lot more out of that.
Yeah,
So that,
I don't think that you can technically go back to and change it
yeah,
because of the rules of the studio, and that's something that in my course that I try to teach people that 2000 might not be enough
yep,
because it go quick. And just real quick, like to your point, is that I totally believe in social proof, but one of the things that maybe we should let people know is that not all 2000 are going to take your course when they take
absolutely.
it for free, but that even people who pay for courses, not all of them take it right away. I have courses that I've paid $1, $5, $10, a little bit more for that I just haven't had the time to take yet, but I get them because they're at that price or free. And like you said, it is so true that you might get a review out of it. You might, and then what it does, I think, is that it shows you to me that there's movement on your course,
Yep,
and therefore you're going to get bumped up higher in their rankings, and you start seeing some of those dollars come in. And it's good for you. It gives you confidence because I've seen other instructors who haven't seen any results and they're asking me like, what do I do? And I'm like looking at their courses and like, have you considered a dollar coupon? No, not really. I don't want to sell my course for that. And it's like, okay, that's your problem right there is that you're not receptive to trying something new. So I think it's
yeah,
great that you did the social proof. So yeah, so go ahead and continue there with your conversation on that.
yeah. I I think the other thing is that when you start to get students, even if they, whether they pay or they're getting it through a free coupon, um, it actually gives you an opportunity to engage with the students and to see how your course works for students. So it's not, you can create what you believe to be a fantastic course. And maybe it is, maybe it isn't, but the real test is in how it works for the students. So once you get some students, you can start to get some questions from them. You can try to engage with them on the discussion forum, and that kind of thing, and find out what it is that is working in the course for them and what it is that's not there for them. So, for example, I created a new lecture based on a question that was asked of one of the first students that enrolled. They said to me, "Oh, I'd really like a bit more of a focus on how you can use this as an individual rather than just in a group setting." And I thought to myself, well, yeah, of course, that's should be obvious perhaps, but I hadn't thought of it. So I
Hmm.
then created an additional lecture and added it in. Um,
That's
yeah,
awesome.
so
That's awesome. I'm so glad that you brought that up because that's something that I always forget, and it's a good point to bring out to others. And I'm sure other instructors don't think about that kind of stuff. That you can take the information in the forum, the information that people are asking. Jerry Banfield is really good with that in his
yeah, he
courses,
is. Yeah,
where he takes
yeah,
that information from the questions people are asking in the discussion forum for the course and taking that and making new lectures out of that. And so I think that that's great that you do that. So when you're building these courses or you're doing things like I know like I have Monday as my MailChimp or marketing Mondays, certain things that I do to try to be productive, but I still can have a hard time with that. Are there
yeah.
some tools that you use maybe in your personal life or as a teacher or as a Udemy instructor that help you remain focused and productive throughout the day?
That's something I'm definitely still working on. Um, an area where I definitely want to improve in my life overall and as a Udemy instructor. But I think the one thing that works for me is to do something each day. So if I make one of my priorities to update my current course or to be working towards a new course, then I want to be doing something on it each day. And on one of my better days, that will mean that most of the day is spent on that. On a worse day, it might mean that I just do some thinking about it. But at the very least, I'm touching base with it, I guess, and I'm keeping it on my radar to make sure that I actually um, do keep doing something towards it.
Yeah, I have things like up here too. My left is a corkboard bulletin board, and I have things up here: Fiverr, record courses, website hosting, more ads, blab blog posts. Those have been up there for a while. But one of
Yep.
the other instructors that I'm friends with, what he does is he thinks about what three things can he do during the day that will have the most impact long term for him, and what would bring most satisfaction, I guess, going to bed at night knowing that you've completed that or something like that to that effect. I try to, like list some things out or whatever and use tools. I mean, I've talked about Wunderlist before, which is, for the web and also we're back.
Hello.
We ha-
Yep.
we had a cutout. I think I can actually edit that out. I don't know what has been going
Cool.
on with my internet connection. It's just been constantly dropping, and I don't know if it's the Mac. It's still looking like kind of fuzzy. So hopefully
Yeah.
we can. Um, we've got a few more questions, so hopefully we can make it through. So I'll just go ahead and start again. If it
Yep.
happens again, we might have to stop and try to figure out. what I can do. Oh, okay. Okay, three, two, one. So anyway, I'm using some of those tools myself to be more productive throughout the day. What kind of advice do you think that you would give other Udemy instructors out there? Just any general advice maybe that you think would be helpful?
Yeah, good question. I think that it's really important to be genuine about what you do. So you should be teaching something that you believe in. Um, don't just choose something that you think will make you good money. Um, I know that we're hoping to get some income out of this as Udemy instructors, but I think that students can tell, people can tell if you're not genuine about what it is you're teaching. You want to believe in it. You want to believe that you're actually offering some real value to your students, and I think that's a big part of what will make you um, really successful in what you do. Is if you're actually offering genuine value.
I think that that's great advice. I think that you have to be real, and I've seen that in other situations where people are more in it for the money rather than like for me. My goals are to to teach people,
Yeah,
and that other stuff that we talk about the income will follow. So,
yeah.
how about advice for newbies, for somebody that's brand new? Because now you're a little further away from that date when you started. What about some advice that we haven't talked about yet?
Yeah, I think as I said before, get in and just do it. But also don't be afraid to ask for help. Don't be afraid to do some of the Udemy courses on how to create a Udemy course. Don't be afraid to go on the Udemy Studio Facebook page and ask others some questions. I'm a big believer in there's no such thing as a stupid question. It's much better to ask a question.
Yeah.
You're going to be more stupid if you don't ask. So go on there and ask some questions, and no matter how simple the thing is that you're struggling with, someone else has struggled with it too, so they'll have an answer for you. Chances are.
Yeah, great. So are you able to share at this point, so that people have an idea? Income on Udemy is all over the place with different people. I've had some good months, I've had some bad months. What about yourself?
Yeah. So in my first week, which was the last month of June. Which was when I was really doing a big promotional push, I suppose. I made just under $20. Um, And then the following 2 months, I made around $60 each
Hmm.
month. Um, and then, so that was June, July, August. September, I only made about $30. And we're just in the beginning of October now, and I've made about 15. So it's not massive right now, but I'm pretty happy that I've made a start. Um, and that's where I'm at.
Yeah, and you have just one course, and that's one thing to remind people about too, is that I
Yeah.
started off with one course, and my first month was 14, but then I started adding a second and third, and now I'm up to six. We know that there's
Yeah.
instructors on Udemy. I have friends that have over 10 courses, and I have friends that have over 30 courses, and we know people like Alan Hill and Jerry Banfield do quite a bit on Udemy. So I think that as you add more, I think you're going to see the kind of benefits and the results that I and others have seen. So, I mean,
Yeah,
yeah.
definitely.
So, I mean, I've talked about, I gave you an idea what we were going to talk about beforehand. One of the questions I had for instructors is what are some of the things Udemy has allowed you to do? And I had told you before the interview that you know, it's like for me, I've had a little bit more income to do stuff. How did you buy anything maybe with that? Because I had with the $14, I went out and had lunch.
Well, I actually um, haven't at this point, but I'm sort of I want to make my first $500.
Hmm.
That's my number in my head. When I make my first 500, don't know why I've chosen that number. Then I think we're going to go out to dinner to celebrate,
Yes,
um,
awesome.
and and decide what to do with the rest of that. But yeah, for me, it really is more about seeing that I can. um, that I can create some content that people will get something out of. I love to teach, and I really want to teach in an online format that can reach a large number of students. I mean, if you're teaching in person, then you can't really have a massive number of students the way that you can online. The online format is just making it so possible to do that, and it's a space I really want to be in. Um, and yeah, I'm just really starting this journey of working for myself and um, creating my brand, I suppose. And for me, what Udemy has done for me to this point is shown me that even though I'm still in the early days, I can do this.
Awesome.
Um,
I
yeah,
think that that's great information that it's laying the foundation for you. Some instructors start off and add courses right away. I know that another instructor that I interviewed, he's just now adding his second, well, he's got his second and third more are on the way because he's figured it out now. He's got it down to a formula that's works best for him, and I would imagine you're doing the same. So, so
yeah,
what about like, do you have some courses planned? Do you have something that you have in the pipeline?
yeah, definitely. I, as I said, I'm really about learning. That's what I'm about. Um, and basically, I want to create a series of courses, and I haven't got this completely clear yet, but a series of courses on how um, anyone can learn in the best way that works for them. So, um, as a teacher, I've seen time and time again that the way that schools traditionally get us to learn is not the only way, and I wouldn't say it's the best way. Um, there's so much more out there that we can learn about learning that will help us to learn more effectively, more efficiently, to get more out of the learning that we're doing. And I want to really get that information across to people. And that's what I want to do in the series of courses that I'm working on at the moment.
That's interesting. Yeah, I know that we all, I think that that's great because, some of us are more visual, some of us like to read.
Yeah,
So, like myself, I like a combination of all of that, I guess, where I read,
yeah,
watch videos, and I think I'm a lot like you, where I like to immerse myself in learning and learning more about stuff. I always say that I know the answers to stuff, but I probably wouldn't win Jeopardy. I just know a lot of information, random information. So how about one
yeah.
last thought or piece of advice before we go?
One last piece of advice or thought would be um, to really make the most of the information that's out there on how to make Udemy courses. Get in and give it a go, and you'll learn so much through the process. And I really think it's unlikely that you'll regret giving it a go. So um, just get in there and try it and see what you can do.
Great, great. Thanks, Bianca. I think that you had some really great information. I appreciate your time, and I really thank you for like taking the time talking to me today because I know that we're on different time zones and all of that in different
Yeah.
countries, which I think is really cool. So, how about where can somebody find you online? Do you have a website, or maybe send them over to your Udemy profile?
Yeah, so if you go to biancapower.com, so just my name.com, I've got a blog there that you can go and check out. And there's also, yeah, my Udemy profile.
Great. Well, thank you very much, and I look forward to getting this online and getting this information out in the book to share with others. So, thanks again.
Thanks, Dennis.